ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, I need you in your Google Classroom in our tech class. If you're not already there, pause this video and come back when you are in our classroom. The first assignment that you should see on our homepage is called Google Sheets Practice. Please click on Google Sheets Practice. Use the plus sign in the middle of your screen to add an attachment. And we are going to choose the green one today, a new sheet. Once it loads, you should be looking at a screen like this. What you see are a whole bunch of cells, or these tiny little boxes. They're called cells. Think of it like a giant wall of Legos. Each cell or each Lego can hold information. If you scroll across, you can see that the letters at the top of the screen are moving. These are your columns. They're named after letters. So this is column N, this is column P, and so on. It goes all the way to Z. If we ever needed more rows, we could add them, and they'd be named AA, BB, and so on. If you scroll down, you see that your numbers along the left-hand side are changing. These are your rows. The rows are named numbers. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it ends at 1,000. But like columns, if we need more rows, we can add them, and it would go to 1,001, 1,002, and so on. I'm going to send you on a little scavenger hunt before we get started. I'm going to give you several cells to find. You're going to shade them certain colors. On your screen, I would like you to find cell C28 and paint it red. In order to paint it, we touch in cell C28. We can zoom in if that makes it easier to see. We select this paint icon, and we're going to paint cell C28 red. Next, I would like you to find cell G50 and paint it orange. Go ahead, pause the video, and do so. Next, I would like you to find cell Y99 and paint it yellow. Next, I would like you to find cell D75 and paint it green. Next, I would like you to find cell I38 and paint it blue. Okay, now that you've gone on a scavenger hunt and learned how to move through your cells and practice naming cells by their letter and their number name, we're going to get started. We are going to select cell A1 by clicking on cell A1. Down at the bottom of your screen, you can see that there's an option to enter text or formula. When we click there, we can enter text in cell A1. We are going to call cell A1 the date. You can see that date is now in cell A1. Tap in cell B1. We are going to name B1 scores. Tap in cell C1. We are going to name this cell best score. Click in cell D1 and we are going to name it average score. If you would like to take a minute to go back and paint your cells different colors, cell A1, B1, C1, D1, you may do so now. Now we're ready to move on. What I would like you to do now is enter today's date in cell A2, A3, and A4. Once you have the date in cell A2, A3, and A4, I would like you to double tap into Fast Typer 2 and play the game 3 times. After each game, please enter that green number score in the box B2 for your first game, B3 for your second game, B4 for your third game. Please do so now. Now that you have your 3 dates and your 3 scores, we're going to tell the computer to run a function or a rule in cell C2. A rule or a function simply tells the computer what calculation to do in that box. In order to insert a function, we need to make sure we have cell C2 selected and then hit the FX button at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This is going to bring up a list of all the functions the computer knows how to do. Your best score is another way to say your maximum score. So we're going to click on the All category and scroll down until we find the M's. Once you find the M's, you see that one of your choices is to add a max or maximum function to that cell. Click on Max. Now you can see that max is ready and waiting, but the computer needs to know the maximum out of what? Do you want to know the maximum date? Do you want to know the maximum score? What do you want? So we need to select all of column B. The easiest way to do that is to simply tap on the gray B label at the top of a column. Now everything in column B is highlighted. When you click the return key, the computer will calculate your best score. My maximum score is 2001. We're going to do the same thing for average score, except instead of your best, we want the computer to calculate your average, or kind of what do you usually do? What score is around where you usually get? So, like last time, we have to tap our finger where we want the computer to put that score. We need to tap in cell D2. Go back to that function button at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. It says FX. My average is already pulled up for me because I've used it before. In order for you to get your average, you need to click on the All category and scroll until you find Average. Now again, the computer is ready to calculate the average, but it says average of what? We need to select all of column B again because we want our average score. Tap on the gray letter B to select all of column B and hit return. My average score is right around 1,348. What you'll notice now if you watch my screen is when I add my next score, let's say I put one in tomorrow, and I do really well this time, and I get 5,678, my best score and my average score automatically recalculate. It knows my new best, and my average score went up because I scored better than usual. This is how we apply a function to a Google spreadsheet. Once you've gotten this far, I would like you to run 3 more Fast Typer 2 tests. Add 3 more dates, they should all be the same day probably, add 3 more scores, and see what happens to your score and your average each time. Come back to the video once you have 6 total scores in your spreadsheet. Now that you have 6 scores, it's time to turn in your sheet. At the top right left-hand corner of your screen, you see the check mark. We're going to click that check mark. We're going to double tap and go back to Classroom. You are going to click Turn In, and you'll have to click Turn In again. When you see the green check mark, your assignment has been submitted.